Nicole, are you there? Oh, there we are. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday night Epic Empire team call. I'm super, super pumped about this call because I think this guy's amazing. His wife is amazing. And so I know he's going to add so much value to your business. I want to give a shout out. I think we have a new diamond tomorrow. Yay! In Epic Empire. But I'll let her upline and everything shout her out tomorrow. Super pumped to give her a bunch of recognition. Also, we've got, oh my goodness, Team Cup going on. We have a ton of teams. I think we have 16 teams within Epic Empire. So I hope you guys are really embracing the Team Cup and just enjoying it and having fun and pushing a little bit harder than you normally do in your monthly business activity. We have different tier prizes that you could win, which is really nice. This hat is distracting me. Different tier prizes that you can win for your team. So push really hard, hit the tier, and then what's the next goal? Push really hard, hit that tier. What's the next goal? Push really hard, hit that tier, and enjoy these prizes that Beachbody's going to send to you. Let's see, what else is on the agenda for announcement? Somebody stuck their phone in the dryer. Nicole will get it. I think that's, big one. I can't believe I forgot this one. Next Wednesday's team call will be another Epic Spotlight, an opportunity to invite people to coaching. And we are going to spotlight some of our coaches on this team where they'll be able to share their journey and their story with your prospects. So it's been, whoa, that's crazy. It has been really effective, I think, in terms of doing the weekly sneak peeks that we've done in the past. It's been really nice to do spotlights on people's stories on all levels of the business, and that way your prospects can hear these stories and get really excited and maybe even relate to them so they are not so intimidated in jumping into this process. So we're going to be doing that in place of our team call in honor of the Team Cup, doing it that on the 22nd at 9 o'clock, same thing as last time we did it, and I even have a recording, so if like somebody gets sick or whatever, we've got a recording, we can still make it work. All right, so I think that's everything, right? We got a whole lineup of speakers all through March. I mean, I just invited somebody tonight, and I'm super pumped because she just laid down some knowledge on our Team Cup call, so I'm excited for her to speak on our Epic calls. Josh, are you going to come over?
I'm headed there just about.
All right. So I see hubby's on. The only way your name gets put in the basket is if I at least get to see your face throughout the call. So I'm super excited to introduce Jamie. Jamie showed up on the scene and has made his presence known. His team, him and his wife's team, actually is rocking it in the business. Jamie is a Success Club 10 All-Star, which means he has hit Success Club for 24 months consecutively, or 12 months. All-Star and then Legend is 24 months. He finished, listen to this, number 6 in the network, so he's number 6 in Beachbody. I mean, I think I was like 67, so he's kicking my butt. He's also an 8-star Diamond Coach, 2017 Elite Coach. And then just to give his wife's credentials, they actually had a family emergency, and so she's not able to be on this call, but he's here. But Kim, his wife, is a Success Club 10 All-Star as well. Finished number 47 in the network, which is kind of funny because I think that's what my position was the year before. That's kind of cool. And 5-star Diamond Elite Coach in 2017. So they are both rocking their own businesses, which is pretty awesome. I think that would be kind of weird for me, Josh. I'd be like, wait a minute, I want that diamond. We'd probably be fighting over it. It would be bad. Anyways, I'm so just honored and excited that he's taking the time out to be with you guys. I know that he's got a busy life with the family. And Josh, come on over. Jamie, we're going to give you the floor. And then at the end of this call, we're going to put everybody's name into a hat, all the hubbies that are on, or spouses or boyfriends or whatever, significant others. There's Josh. It's his belly. Everybody's name into a hat that is on the call, I can't talk, supportive spouse. And we'll put their name in the hat for a prize. So come on, sit down, buddy.
How do I sit? Oh, okay.
You can share a seat.
You underestimate the
okay, I'll get
significance of my backside.
Oh, okay, he's a brawler. Oh, yeah, look, all I can see is like our chins. All right, Jamie, you got the floor, homie.
Man, I need to grow a beard like that, apparently. Look at that thing. Can you hear me okay? Ego. Yeah, that's a big one, and I'm glad like all the hubbies are showing up here because I'm not going to be ruthless, but I don't really hold back on my calls. I kind of let it fly, and I feel like I have permission to because obviously I'm a dude. And listen, I'm a guy's guy. Like I like to drink beer. I like sports. I kind of tell it like it is, and I don't know any of you. I don't know any of you, so I'm not making any misrepresentations. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but this whole business, a lot of it, and trust me, living with another coach in the same house who is doing the business, and because we work the business as a couple, so we literally have coaches come to us as a couple, be like, "Hey, I want to join your team," and my wife and I look at each other, we're like, so who gets this person? And so we really have to like separate our egos out of the business and look at it like a family unit. What are our goals? Income's a part of this. Like I know people don't like talking about it, but let's be real. It's important because we all have bills to pay. And at the end of the day, my wife and I kind of put all that aside and focus on what are our goals for our family? Where do we want to be, in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, where do we want to sit as a family unit? And that's really important. It's not where I want to be. It's not where she wants to be. And with all due respect, I think whether your spouse is working the business or not, I think you need to look at this as a family unit business, whether you are playing a fraction of a role in the business or a big role in the business. I don't really think it matters. Because at the end of the day, you want to move your business and family forward. And if your business moves forward, your family moves forward. And I really want to get that point across. And I'm not saying all you men's spouses on here are not supportive. I'm sure some of you are, maybe all of you are. Generally speaking though, and I deal with this with my own coaches because we have about 95 to 97% are female coaches. I attract a little more male coaches than the average coach because I'm a male, but most are female, and I deal with this all the time, non-supportive spouses. So I'm talking from my own personal experience, this doesn't reflect necessarily on all of you. But I always tell people, like, I understand why it's hard to grasp this concept sometimes. I get it, but I don't necessarily agree with it. Because, and my first point, can I share a screen, Jatana? Is that cool? And before I talk into belief, which goes into, belief is all about, well, it kind of includes ego and all that stuff, but I'll tell you kind of briefly sort of my story. And I tend to ramble on, so I'll try to talk quickly through the presentation. But this is about 6-7 years ago. I had my own company with my brother. I'll make this really short and sweet. Classic business story. We opened up a retail store. We grew our chain, so we became franchisors, and we franchised out our concept. So I've done business in the past. I've kind of been like a serial entrepreneur my whole life. And I'm only saying that not out of ego, but to tell you that I've done different businesses before I jumped into network marketing or Beachbody coaching. And we opened up our company. It was going great. We had like 23 stores. I'm Canadian, but we actually had a store in New Jersey. And then we brought in a business partner, and it all went downhill really, really quickly. And there was a huge amount of stress. We had just had our son, Colby. I gained about 65, 70 pounds. I'm comfortably, like, I'm about 195 right now. And I had got up to probably like 245, 250. And it was sheerly through stress of the company. We got into like lawsuits. It was ugly. It was awful. And I'm a self-medicator, food, alcohol, whatever. And I just sat at home at night. I'd stay up till 2, 3 in the morning, playing online poker, drinking scotch, wine, whatever it was, that choice, pizza. I self-medicated, and I gained all this weight. And basically I was literally watching an infomercial one night, and I saw the P90X commercial for whatever reason, Tony Horton, you know, he just, something about him. I ordered the infomercial. I started working out, and I'd always been active. I grew up an athlete and I'd always been active, but through the stress and being a new dad and all that stuff, I just kind of lost myself, which happens to a lot of people, you know? And, yeah, I got down to probably about I think 178 I got down to. And then I got to a point where I was like, ooh, I'm losing a little bit too much weight. And so I put on about 10 or 15 pounds of P90X and stuff. But, yeah, that sold me. It completely transformed my life. I worked out in my basement with Tony Horton every morning. My wife was a huge supporter. And it wasn't until about probably 5-6 years after that because coaching didn't come to Canada until about 3.5 years ago. And yeah, I signed up January 2015. So about 2 years ago, I signed up. And it's been a crazy ride. I don't honestly know how I'm at this place now. I really don't. It still blows my mind. I'm from a small town in Northern Canada. I'm a small town hockey kid. And yeah, I think it's just kind of a testament to believing in yourself and knowing that anything is possible. And I know that sounds really cliche and kind of shitty because you hear that all the time and it gets tiresome. But I'm one of those people that I don't really accept excuses from people based on their background or who they are, where they're from, how many friends they have on Facebook. I think you're going to get out of this opportunity exactly what you put in. And I tell people all the time, I think you're exactly in your business where you're supposed to be. You're exactly in the spot that you're supposed to be depending on what you're doing in your business. So I'm going to talk about belief here quickly, but this is my why. We all have a why. Mine's pretty easy. It's a lot of people's why. It's my wife, Kim. She may join us at the end of the call. She's just dealing with something right now. Yeah, so on the left, there was a Disney cruise we took. Only way we could have done that is through Beachbody. And yeah, everything we kind of do as a family unit is based on what we can provide for our family and our kids. And that's really the focus of my business. Yeah, it's helping people. I love that part of it. I love mentoring people. But at the end of the day, I just want to move our family forward to get to a spot where we can both be home with them. Because we built this business both with full-time jobs, both corporate jobs. So we worked on our business a lot of late nights. So I think, you know, it starts with belief. You got to believe in your clients or coaches. You got to believe in you. And everything that you're doing stems from belief. It stems from confidence. I have a habit, and I try to do this every day, is I'll send a voice note or a message to my clients and coaches. I make sure it's 3 to 5 a day. And I'll simply tell them how proud of them I am and that I believe in them. And I don't just say those words. Like I'll do like a minute voice note or something along those lines where, because here's what happens, guys, is lack of confidence, self-esteem, whatever you want to call it, is probably the biggest detriment to this business. And you can improve that and you can get better through a bunch of things like, you know, PD, personal development, all that. But I feel like if I believe in them, at least one other person is believing them, even if it's not their spouse. If at least I'm believing them, I'm going to move that needle further over to the words of them believing in themselves. And it's going to take some other things. It's going to take them doing some action on their own and doing some inner work and doing some PD and all that stuff. But at least I can start with me believing in them. And I'll pick something out of something that they do really well, because everyone does something really well. We all do stupid stuff. We all mess up. None of us are great, maybe Facebook posters or all that, but you can usually find something to believe in somebody with. And that's what I started doing. I think as you have to take it on personally to better yourself and be a sponge. Like you have to be resourceful. Don't please, like this is my mission with coaches is please don't be the person that asks all the questions. Be the person who's providing the answers. You have to be resourceful in this business because the answer is out there somewhere. And taking the easy way out and posting in your chat or your team page an answer that's easy to find, with all due respect, it's just you being a follower, not a leader. That's just all it is. And sometimes on these team calls, it's easy for me to say that to you than Jitana, because I can just call you out on it and she doesn't have to worry about the repercussions, or I don't have to worry about the repercussions. I can just say it and you can digest. And if it's real for you, or if it kind of rings true and you're like, oh shit, maybe I do that a bit, then you're going to accept that. Oh, sorry, this kid's on the call. Pardon my language. So that's something that you all have to think about, though, is like that follower leader mentality. I feel like confidence isn't a personality trait, and this is part of the belief process. I feel like confidence is something that is a learned behavior, and it's such a huge part of this business and a huge part of your life. And I feel that comes from you believing in yourself. It comes from your upline believing in you, and it also comes from the circle around you. You know how we always talk about the 5 closest people around you are the people who are going to influence you, and those are the people who you're going to turn you into whatever you're going to be to. Well, sometimes our spouse, we can't choose. We have to be around them. So I'm telling you guys, and again, I'm not judging. I don't know any of you. I'm just saying, imagine what a shame it would be. Imagine, and I bet this has happened in the Beachbody world before. Imagine a shame it would be if, because of maybe your limiting beliefs about the business, or your uncomfortableness with the time that they're spending now on the business, on their phone a little bit more. Imagine if your non-belief, or maybe your comments, or whatever you do to maybe not support your wife. Again, I'm not saying you are. I don't know you. Imagine if that was the cause of them quitting a little bit early, or not being fully confident or comfortable with running their business. Imagine if that was the difference between them quitting or earning $200 a week or $100 a week, and then like blowing up this business to a point where it completely changed your life. And I'm not being dramatic. This stuff happens, guys. Imagine if that was the difference. You're not realizing it could be the difference. I'm telling you as a dude, like, your spouse and wife needs that support. And I'm not talking about if they're spending 16 hours a day on the business and not giving attention to the kids and your life, and what, I'm not talking about that. You know what I'm talking about. It's general support for what they're doing. And yeah, there's some exceptions, like if in 25 years, your wife is still a Beachbody coach and she's making $100 a week, okay, maybe it's time to switch it up and try something else. But you need to give some form of an honest, supportive system there to support them, because the positive that's going to happen from that, the positive is they're actually going to earn more money for your family. So I sit there and go, why would you not support them if it brings more money to your family, to your kids, to your future, to whatever you're trying to work towards, whatever your goals are, your next vacation? Like, why, if we all kind of know that more support is going to get them there faster and make it easier, and maybe you help out with the kids a little more and do a little more around the house to get them there. And I get it's a balancing act. It's 50-50. Both have to help each other. What's not to like about it? But this happens over and over. I see it all the time. And I don't know if it's a insecurity thing or an ego thing. You may not like what I'm talking about right now because it makes you uncomfortable. I don't know. For me, and I'm a guy's guy, but however, for me, I would err on the side of, you know what? I may not fully believe in what's going on in Beachbody. It seems a little hokey. I don't know. But I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's see where this goes. Let's see where they take this. That's what I would do. And I'm kind of in reverse because I started the business first. So I'll leave it at that as far as the spouse thing goes, but that's kind of my belief on it. Like, guys, and if your spouse isn't on this call and you're struggling with this issue, I tell my coaches all this time, I think what you need to do, and it's very an obvious thing to do, however, a lot of female coaches don't do it. Grab your spouse, boyfriend, partner, husband, whatever they're called to you. Kids are in bed. You have some downtime. Before you started drinking alcohol, sit them on the couch. Sit them on the couch and say, I need like 5-10 minutes of your time. Look them in the eye and tell them how important Beachbody coaching is to you. and just have that conversation and say, I need you to give me X amount of time. You don't have to put a time limit on it. And I need this from you. I need you to give me an opportunity to turn this into something for our family. And just see at least where that goes. And a lot of female coaches don't do that with their spouses. They just start going in the business and their spouse is like, what is this? You're on your phone. What's going on? Like, dude, you're not the same person anymore, because the business is different. It's outside the box. It's not normal. It's like, it's just different. So sometimes we have a problem with that. But if you let them into what you're doing and not asking for permission, but just like including them in on what's going on, I think that would help huge. Does that help a little bit? Thumbs up, maybe? Maybe I pissed some people off. Sorry. Oh, God, kids, I'm sorry. I have a potty mouth. Okay, so, and that is part of belief, you guys. That's part of belief, okay? I wanted to bring this up because this is all centered around belief. This isn't about ego. I promise you, I have the smallest ego around. Again, I'm just a small-town Canadian kid who doesn't know how he got to here. But so making the top, like corporate makes this big deal of top 10, and I'm proud of it. I don't really focus on it. Being a guy and doing it is like weird because, as you see, like one of these things is not like the other, obviously. But you kind of have to have this belief system that really the crazy stuff that can happen in life could happen to you. And my corporate mentor is Arno Nakaha. So he sent me this text last year. It was July 2016, and it was when Summit was happening. And the top 10 coaches last year got this billboard in Nashville. Really cool. Like, come on, who gets their picture on and there was a bunch of billboards in Nashville. And he sent me this text. He's like, pretty cool billboard. Hey, Fitz, that'll be you next year. And I was kind of love it. And, I don't have, I'm kind of like, I fixed it up to put my picture on the end there, almost like a little mini vision board that it took. And I think I covered up Bonnie Engel's face. Sorry, Bonnie. But I covered up her face and I sent it back to him, like, fixed it. And it wasn't me being cocky. It was just like, that's like a mini vision board for me where like, yeah, I'm going to be on that board. And that was a belief I had in myself. And you kind of have to have that attitude of like, it doesn't have to be cocky, but you kind of have to believe you belong there. And you kind of have to believe you are deserving of that. And that's not always easy, right? Because we all have dealt with stuff in our past. And it's taken me a long road to get there. So that being said, Arnaud was one of those guys who believed in me and how he's just kind of breadcrumbed on me. Like, you can do this. You can get in the top 10. And the time he sent this to me, I think I was number 14. So I had like 5 spots to jump. And I was jumping like, crazy people like Lindsay Matway and stuff, which is mind blowing. So, and again, this was in the corporate office. They hung this up and one of the guys sent it to me. And it's just, my whole point of this, again, it's not out of ego because I don't really relate with this picture because I don't feel like that's me there, to be honest with you. But like, I grew up playing a lot of sports, and my dad was one of those guys who, if you ask me to change the oil on a car, I have no clue. You ask me to fix something, I'm a complete moron. Like, I'm not that guy. Because my dad didn't know that stuff either. What he knew to do was take me outside, and he taught me how to throw a curveball in baseball. He taught me how to play hockey. He was my hockey coach. So growing up playing hockey, we lived in a small town, and it was kind of like a big fish, small pond scenario where I would think if you talk to most people, they probably were like, yeah, Jamie, you probably have a shot at making the NHL in hockey. And I quit when I was 16 because it scared the life out of me. I had to leave home and go play junior hockey somewhere away from my folks. And I was a small kid growing up, and I just wasn't ready. And I quit on that because I was scared and I was fearful. And that's kind of bothered me the rest of my life. That being said, I think, would I have made it? Probably not. Like, those people are on a different level, the professional athletes. But I vowed to myself, like, I would never quit on anything again until I saw it through. And that taught me this massive lesson. And so I went on to be a high school teacher. I did that for 7 years. I've never so after the whole hockey thing, like I said, I told myself, I'm just, if I have not an impulse, but if I have the desire to do something in my life, I'm just going to go do it and not so much worry about the immediate consequences I'm a fan of practicality as long as it doesn't hurt your family and all that stuff. I just said, I'm going to follow my heart and do what feels right. So I went and I was a high school teacher, did that for 7 years, loved it, left high school teaching, complete pension, moved across Canada, and my brother and I opened up these pet retail stores. Crazy. But I was committed to myself. I was like, no, follow your heart, do this stuff. We built that chain up, and then we had the problem. I sold my shares in it, and Beachbody coaching came up. And again, I had people look at me when I started coaching like, we had 3 heads. And I remember like 2 weeks into coaching, Kim and I, my wife and I were at a party, and we were telling them what we were doing. And one of her friends literally like outwardly laughed in my wife's face about what we were doing. She's like, that'll never work. Like just so like making fun of us about what we're doing. And I remember that, and that stuck with me. Like my why is for my family, but that conversation I remember happening. That was like, I remember thinking to myself, oh, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. So part of this too is on to my next thing sort of here is man, this is so huge as being a leader and a follower. And it's one of those things, and I don't want to insult anyone again. I'm just going to keep it real for you guys. I feel like there's a lot of coaches who are, let's just say, they're fans of Beachbody and fans of other top coaches or whatever you want to call them. And I didn't get mad at one of my coaches last week. She thought I was mad at her. She was upset after the call I had with her. I'm a guy. I'm lacking some little emotional stuff that maybe others have. I just called her out. I said, why are you liking X? I won't say the name of her. I said, why are you all over her stuff? I said, stop commenting on her stuff. Stop liking. Like, she doesn't need more people to like her stuff. She's got 842 likes on her post. She doesn't need another one. But this is part of the leadership / CEO mindset and the follower / employee mindset, you guys. And this is everything in this business. It's one thing to sell a lot of challenge packs and run an accountability group. Fantastic. Do it. That's the main part of this business because that's how you attract coaches. However, guys, you have to have this leadership mentality. Right? Like I said, be the person that is answering the questions. Don't ask all the questions. That is an employee mentality. I always ask my coaches this, and I think it's a really good question to ask yourself is like, what you're doing in your business right now and the coach that you are right up to this date, ask yourself this question. Are you the coach that you want to attract to your team? No, I'm serious. Like, ask yourself in your head right now. Like, who I am as a coach and everything I do, would I want to attract someone like me on my team? Because guess what? And maybe the answer is yes, that's awesome. Because guess what? That's what you're going to attract. For the most part, if you're doing all the other things right, like posting properly and doing your invites, but that is what you're going to attract in this business, guys, is who you are as a coach. You want to attract people who are leaders? Be a leader. You want to attract people who are open about the business and like want to work really hard to change their circumstances? Be that leader. Be that person. Like, be that coach. I have this, I honestly believe this in my heart. I don't know why I believe this. I feel like everything you speak and type and put out into the universe is like you're like this magnet. You are this magnet. And that's why when my coaches, when they say something negative on our team call or not negative, but type something negative, like, oh, it's been a really slow month. Wah, wah, wah. Like, I'm just like, don't say that because it's going to continue to be a slow month because you're saying that out loud. Stop it. Like, I really believe that, I mean, I wake up every day and I put my 2 feet on the floor and I say to myself, I'm attracting a rock star coach today. I say to myself, I'm going to have a good day today. And not every day is good, but that is the, we all have a movie playing in our head, you guys. You may not know it, but there's a movie in your head with a soundtrack and people speaking. It's always you, but there's a movie in your head, and you have to determine what type of movie it is. Is it a drama? Is it a comedy? Is it a positive, uplifting movie? Is it one of those depressing movies? Because that's going to shape your whole day. It's going to shape your whole business, you guys. So don't be the fan. Be the star of your show. Be the star of your show, guys. And what happens is when you do personal development and you like sponge all that stuff in, and your confidence starts to rise, and you be a leader, and you come into rooms and you stand a little bit taller, you smile a little bit more, your shoulders are back, and you start putting that vibe out there, that's when the stuff happens, guys. That's when things will start to click for you. And I don't care where you're from, who you are, what ethnicity, it doesn't matter. Those are all just, what matters is who you are and what you do in this business and how you portray yourself and carry yourself. Okay? I'm a big believer in this, and this is how, like, I tell people all the time, my wife and I are not big recruiters. Like, there's legit people in the top 10 who like recruit 50 coaches a month. I'm just like, I don't know how they do it. Like, I just don't know how. I guess I need to get better at Facebook ads or something. But we are organically built, my wife and I. Like, our whole business is from challenge groups. I would say, now that we've gotten a little bit more notoriety and we're a little bit out there, we've got a few coaches reaching out to us that are like, hey, I saw you guys and I'm interested. But I'd say 95 to 98% of coaches are through our challenge groups. They're people who, and my wife does a great job in them. I used to run them the first year, then my wife took them over. She does a much better job than I do. But we pour our heart and soul into our challenge groups. I think that's the secret sauce to this business. I think sometimes it gets lost and everyone gets so worried about inviting and Facebook posting and doing all the other white noise that's going on over here. It's like, focus on the people in your challenge group. Our sole focus is like, when they get out of our challenge group, or at the end of 21 or 30 days or whatever you're doing, we just want them. I don't even care about weight loss, although that's the byproduct, and yeah, that's going to happen. It's like, I just want them to feel better about themselves and better about the direction that their life is going at the end of that 30 days. That's the sole focus. Then they fall in love with the program. Then they fall in love with all that stuff. And that's where that true coach comes from, who's like, yeah, I love this. It's changing who I am. They in turn then become coaches. And that's really how we've built kind of our entire, I would say that's been the key to our business. And it's probably a little more work than getting maybe 40, 50 coaches. And I'm not saying that's bad. That works for them. And maybe we'll get there one day. I don't know. But for us, it's like, we just rinse and repeat. We sign people up for our challenge group, accountability group. We put them in there. We make sure they have the best experience possible. We reach out to the ones that seem like they're really inspired by it and maybe want to coach and change their life. And we just keep doing that over and over and over again. I've got notes here. Yeah, I had on my notes, it's like, that's my next slide. Oh yeah, find the joy. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, like, and I have to remember this too sometimes, because I get caught up in the shiny goals and stuff too, of rank and all that stuff. And actually the whole top 10 race for me, it taught me a really good lesson about what was going on, because I started to change the way I was coaching and change the way I was handling my team. I didn't necessarily like the way I was doing it. And corporate wouldn't like me saying this, but like, I learned some good lessons from going for that whole, and it is a race, and you feel pressure from people you didn't think you would, and you feel pressure in other ways. My advice to you is, no matter where you are in your business, is just keep finding the joy in this and make sure it's enjoyable to you. If you're getting overwhelmed, just slow down on some of your activities, because you're probably going to quit anyway. And I don't think that's necessary. I think you can really find the joy in this process. And like, guys, there's no sense at doing something on your time when it doesn't provide you some enjoyment and happiness. And I want to be clear here. Finding joy and happiness doesn't mean working less hard. That don't equate that with, oh, you mean I can work half an hour a day? No. I mean, like, work hard at your business. You know, anything worthy is going to take hard work, but enjoy the process. Like, enjoy that part of it and really be conscious of what you're doing on a daily basis. So when you get those messages from people, like, embrace them, save them, shout them out on Facebook. Really enjoy those beautiful moments in your business that happen to all of us coaches, in between some of the tougher moments where you might get someone who judges you for what you're doing and stuff like that. Okay? Run your race. Again, like, comparison, and I just posted about joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. You got to run your own race. We all get to the destination line at different spots. Amy Silverman is a great example. I mean, I think she's in year 7. The first 2 years, I don't think she did anything in her business. And, you know, nowadays we live in this immediate gratification world where, you know, and I don't know this for a fact. I think this is what Amy was talking about. Her first 2 years, she barely earned any income. I'll bet you 90% of coaches would have quit in Amy's position. Maybe not 90, maybe 60, 70, 80. I don't know, because I don't know what her income was up to that point, but it wasn't good the first 2 years. She's a living example of someone who she just sucked it up and stuck it through to see it through to the end. And now she's living the dream, right? You know, but most people will never get to the end of the race. They stop 50 meters short because they get tired and they don't believe in that there's an end game. And they live in this, it's like, I think Melanie Mitro uses the term, it's called like delayed instant gratification. You have to kind of delay, all the immediate things that bring you this immediate happiness, like watching TV and stuff. And we all have different goals. So don't get me wrong. If your goal is to make $100 a week, watch TV. Like, watch as much as you want. No, serious. Go play fantasy baseball. I'm talking as a guy here. Go, I don't know, what do you guys do? You know, like, whatever that is, you want to make $100 a week? Yeah, go spend your time on other stuff than that. You want to turn this into a legit biz and be honest with yourself, then you start cutting out most, if not all of the things. I'm not talking about family. Our kids do karate, ballet, dance, basketball, but we don't cut that stuff out. Kim and I cut out the stuff that doesn't move us forward to where we want to be. Okay, and our goal this whole time has been to bring one, if not both of us home. That's been our goal this whole time. But you got to run your race, guys. You good? You can kind of,
There she is.
Can I crash the team call?
She's
Hi, guys.
Okay, so can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you?
Kim's going to take over the call, by the way. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not. Go.
Yeah,
I heard someone, you were trying to bring us home, and I retired. And I
we haven't
over.
We haven't talked about that. So I won't go much longer because I don't know how long your team calls are, but sacrifice, we've just been talking about it. Listen, it's really hard to, and we deal with our own coaches. And you have to, like, no one can force you or see what you're doing in the comfort of your own home every day. And no one can tell you what to do. No one can determine if you choose to work on the business rather than do something that isn't productive. I feel like we live in a world where everyone just kind of wants to chill out and not, and I don't know if it's I'm a little older, like I'm 44. So I was just, and I make myself sound like I was in World War II. Like, I mean, it's a generational thing. In my day, no, but like, I just feel like it's everyone wants immediate success and like, or immediate enjoyment out of stuff. And we told ourselves from day one, we kind of were like, okay, if we're going to do this, we're probably going to get in some fights, first of all. Not fights, but like, you know,
yeah. We got in some fights.
We got in some doozies, but there was respect, and we tried to take the ego out of it. We talked about ego before, but we knew it wasn't going to.
Taking ego out's tough, right? And I think I always say, you know, and not to get very spiritual here, but it's just about edging God out, right? Like, you're just edging. You're edging out. Ego is just that, and as soon as you can get your ego out of it, I think the rest comes into play, especially when you're dealing with your spouse and certainly working the business with your significant other.
Yeah. I'll close it out with this. It's like, I just feel like I think we all have a different journey and we all have a different timeline because we all have different skill sets and what we're capable of. Not everyone can be a doctor or a lawyer, or not everyone can be a heavy equipment operator. Like, we all have different skill sets. We do. But I just feel like sometimes the difference between success and maybe not so much success, or on a different timeline, is like the successful people, or whatever you want to deem that, they play at a level up here, and everyone can play at a level up here. It's whether you want to play at that level for an hour or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the secret. Like, people can play at this level for 3 months and, like, boom, hammering out invites, like, boom, just staying so consistent. And then it's like the people who are like, they play up here and they just keep going and going and going. And what happens is that compound effect comes, and it just, all of a sudden it starts to take off, and their eyes go, oh. What happens though is so many people don't get to that point because they shut it down too early, or they start to taper off and don't believe in it. And that affects all their things. And then it's even a sharper decline. And that, I feel, is like that's what happens with so many people. It's just, I went to school for 5 years. I got a university degree. I went into $100,000 in debt, and society deems that cool. Like, they tell you, oh, no problem. Go 80 grand in debt, get your degree, and maybe get a job. And we're all cool with that. But God, don't coach for 6 months and only make $100 a week, and then you got to quit after that. Like, does that make any sense? It doesn't. But that's how society views what we should be doing. And that's why it's hard to get outside that box and, like, give this time and patience, but give it the attention it needs, or else it just won't work like anything else. Mm-hmm. Anything to close? You just got here.
I just got here.
Oh, by the way, so I almost forgot. So yeah, so it's been 2 years for us, and we realize it's been quick, and we've busted our you-know-whats, and we've made a ton of sacrifices, and we're kind of living proof. Like, Kim, today was Kim's last day at her corporate job.
Yeah.
And she's literally retiring to do Beachbody full time.
And my face hurts.
And her face hurts.
Smiling all day.
And
it's pretty cool.
It's like we're proud because we're happy. Like, it's been a goal of ours. Yeah. And it just.
And my job wasn't serving me anymore. No. Like, it took me away from the home and away from what I wanted to do, what my mission was. And it was just, I think the more you fall in love with what your passion is, and the more efforts and time you put into it, the more fruitful it becomes. So I think you get out of it what you put into it, and what you think about, you bring about, and what you talk about, you bring about. So, I mean, I think all of that goes to show, for us, what we have also not only sacrificed, but we have envisioned, and we have, put that out to the universe and to, the powers that be, for sure.
Sorry, we're babblers. Sorry. Actually, you know what? Can you get rid of the screen? Let's stop sharing so we can see everybody. I'll close on this note, is that
there all these beautiful people are. Hi.
She's very shy, I told you.
There they are.
Here's the thing, is this whole confidence thing that we're talking about and all that stuff, and like, because that does play a role in all your activities in your business. It's really based on fear, right? And confidence comes when you can kind of push that fear down. Here's the problem, and Mel Robbins, go Google Mel Robbins or YouTube Mel Robbins. She is unbelievable. She talks about this because it's human nature. You biologically, your body, when you want to do something that's uncomfortable, and you want to do something like, oh, I got to post this, or I got to invite this person, not like, biologically, your body tells you don't do this, because you're engineered to make yourself comfortable. Like, you're engineered to your body tries to protect you. Your mind tries to protect you. So it says, no, don't do that. That's really uncomfortable. It puts you at risk. We biologically resist that, even subconsciously. The key, and this is my last piece of advice for you, just do it before you think about it. someone asks you to do something and it's not hurting you financially or physically, say yes within 5 seconds and worry about it after.
But she also has, just to clarify, give you a tool. Oh,
yeah, no, you go. Sorry. You're good.
Okay. So just for a tool for that is Mel Robbins actually has developed what's called the 5-second rule. So if you are hesitating on an idea, or you're hesitating from getting up to go work out at 5:30, or you're hesitating to go invite 5 people to the opportunity and or to come and join your challenge group, she says, just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Because what it does is it actually resets your frontal temporal lobe, which makes so many of the decisions. And that's where fear lives, right? That's where fear lives. That's where the being comfortable with not being uncomfortable lives. But if you reset your brain wire, you're essentially rewiring your brain by saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You change the game. So she says that for getting up in the morning. She says that for doing something that you're fearful of. That she says that for, and she really speaks to network marketing professionals. So I've seen her in Vegas twice live, and literally we watched a video last week, and it was the first time it resonated with me. So maybe I need to watch it 3 times, but it finally worked. And I'm proud to say I've been up before 5:30 in the morning all week because I've been doing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the other thing she said, which I think is so important, is that she says motivation is garbage. And I don't believe necessarily that, because I think motivation is important. But what she said is that if you don't have the willpower and or the mental strength or the inner strength to just get it done, then you're going to have a hard time. And that's where that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go really comes in and helps. So
that's all we got.
You guys are amazing. That is awesome. That's all you got. That was amazing. I love that concept. It's funny. I was over at, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that like totally resonates with me because I'm kind of, I don't know, fearless in that mind. I'm like, I don't care, and just type it to him. And I was over at my one of my top coaches, Kelly's house, and she was like, I think I want to invite this person. I think they'd be great for coaching. And she's typing up the message and rereading it. And I just reached my hand over to her computer. And went,
nice.
And it's like, oh, what did you do? Why
nice.
did you do that?
Yeah, it's like if you have to say think in the sentence, that you need to send the message. Like, don't say think. It means you want to send the message, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't spell check it. Sorry, Kelly. But no, I love that concept. And it probably will work for me with my workouts, because how many of us lay there and like, oh, I really need to, or I really don't. And you start thinking about all the reasons why you don't feel like working out, when honestly, we can tell our challengers that. That's fantastic. I love it. And I love some of the things you said, and what popped in my mind in terms of like the $100 a week for 6 months. You work really hard in this business for a period of time and get paid jack crap. In all honesty, you do. And the amount of hours that you put into it sometimes, and you feel like you're getting paid 12 cents an hour for your work. Thankfully, this is actually a really gratifying business, and we're helping change lives. So even though we're getting paid 12 cents an hour sometimes, we're also changing lives, and we're changing our own lives. And then the next phase after that is you work really hard and you get paid for the amount of work that you do. And then the next phase, which is a phase that I think we're in now, we work really hard and I'm getting way overpaid. I'm making more money than this like cool government guy, which is an exciting thing for our family. So those seasons happen, but it's you have to weather through those times when you're like, okay, I just made $72 and I worked really hard, had a lot of conversations. This really stinks. But for husbands, I think it was the first time that I was like, guess what? I made $642 this week. And he was like, what? And then like our air conditioning handler went out, whatever that's called, the unit in the outside, and it was going to cost a lot of money and take from our savings. And I'm like, I got this. I got it with my Beachbody money. He's like, are you serious? Now to the point where I'm, way past his income, which is really cool, even though I pour it back into the business, which he always argues. He's like, yeah, but you go back in the business. And when you start making amounts, like you're paying yourself what I make, then we'll talk. That's my goal. I want to be able to pay myself what he makes, and then the rest, have to pour back into
She's
the business.
a Ruby. She feeds off of competition, so I always raise the bar.
Yeah.
And then, support of your significant other is huge. I mean, the first time I pushed for Elite, was it back in 2014? He said his brain, guys, your spouse's brain, you need it. Because I can think of some of my leaders, Rebecca and I are like, oh, I don't understand these Elite points. But our husband can sit down and be like, all right, these are the points you got to get. This is how you can reverse engineer it. My brain does not work like that. And I needed him to sit down with me and like really map it out for me. And then he understood it. He had a buy-in to what I was pushing for. And so those late nights when I'm like, honey, I've got to do one-on-one call, I've got to do team calls, he didn't mind helping put the kids to bed because he knew what I was pushing for. So definitely bring your spouse in on this and help them map, or let them help you map out your goals, because you know what? They're actually really smart, and they
actually
they get it. They get a lot. They think a lot differently than us females do, and they actually are really good. I guess guys are more wired to more technical things and mapping things out, and that's one thing that Josh has been a blessing to my business for. And then you talked about the employee versus the entrepreneur mindset, and that has been huge for me. I think since day one, obviously, I didn't really have a team. I was this kind of orphan, and I'm like, you know what? We're just going to make what we got. And it was like me and Jason Delancey's from Tommy Miger's team, and we're like 4 hodgepodge coaches trying to create something, but we were entrepreneurs. We were building this. So I know that you guys you're blessed to be a part of Epic Empire, and it's really awesome. You have resources at your fingertips, everything you ever want to know, just like Jamie said. But remember, you're an entrepreneur. So you got to get up and you got to create and you got to do and you got to motivate yourself. Don't wait for anybody to say, hey, did you start a challenge group? Hey, have you hit Success Club? That should be on the forefront of your own mind, not your upline's mind. And then I love the fact that Jamie and y'all's business is focused on challenge groups. That's kind of the heart and soul of our team's business as well. Just pouring back into our challengers, helping them get results, keeping that first on our hearts and our motivation, because it keeps joy there when you know that you're helping people, and then letting it be organically grown with your coaches. Your coaches naturally, it's like on-the-job training for my coaches, because they not only do they learn what a challenge group is supposed to look like, they enjoyed the process, and now they're ready to become a coach because they've lost 12 pounds and they're super pumped and excited and telling everybody about it. And they know exactly when I say, all right, so on March 6th, we're going to start a challenge group. I need you to go find 3 people who want to do this challenge group with us. And they're like, I know, I want to tell them about it because this challenge group was an amazing experience and it's such a natural process. And so thank you so much for touching on all those topics. Thank you for letting us borrow your hubby tonight. Really appreciate it. I know it's not always easy, especially with you guys both doing the business. It's got to be it.
We're good. You didn't need to borrow them. We're good. 2 years in, I think I feel like we're babies, but now do I want to say it's a common occurrence? It shouldn't be a common occurrence, but you are more than welcome.
We really appreciate it. So one hubby gets a gift tonight. So Nicola, do you have, let's see, I'm going to go back through it. We see Beth's husband.
I already got everybody's name.
You do? Oh,
I did. I'm on it. I even have the name already drawn now.
Okay. What you got?
All right. Here we go. It's Stu.
Stu, who's Stu?
Stu.
Stu, is that Beth's husband? Look at me, high-fiving her. Yay! How exciting. Awesome.
My 9-year-old who should be sleeping, picked your name. Yay.
Nice. Yay. All right, so Stu, you have won oh my gosh. Okay, this is from Josh. Holy Stone HS-170 Predator Mini RC Helicopter Drone.
And
nice.
And,
yes.
And the battery pack that goes with it, the quadcopter battery pack, and fast battery pack charger. And what is that?
those are replacement propeller blades.
Replacement propeller
Very
blades.
nice.
Naturally.
Tiny kit. It's a starter drone, so you can start just terrorizing the neighbors and
I look forward to that.
things, good stuff, all wholesome and good.
Great. Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
Yay! Congratulations. So this was all in light of Valentine's Day. I hope that you guys spent a wonderful Valentine's Day together and put your phones away and actually looked into each other's eyes and talked about how much you love each other. But thank you so much for being on this call. Spouses, I hope that you enjoyed this. I know it's a little weird just to be on these awkward calls. Us girls, we like it because we're relational. We're like, yeah, we get to see each other and we have our glass of wine. Actually, we've pretty ixnayed wine on our team, right? Right? And we're wine. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much, Fitzpatrick. You guys are awesome. And y'all have an amazing night. Go cuddle. Peace out.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, bye guys. Have a good one.
Bye.